guys, it's Syama Maher here, CEO of Scaling Retail. Today we're going to talk about consumer behavior and shopping in a post-COVID-19 world. That seems like a hard thing to imagine at this point in time, and I don't blame you. Depending on who you talk to, you're going to hear people saying anything from we're going to be dealing with this thing for the next year and a half to 2 years, to hey, there's a vaccine right around the corner. And so a lot of this actually has to do with how we're looking at our mental health, keeping ourselves active, and being agile and prepared for truly whatever is going to happen next, because guys, I don't know, and you probably don't either. So when we're looking at consumer behavior and shopping, there are a couple key indicators and things that I think we can actually start to understand a bit more. Consumer spending has declined in certain categories, but it's also been increasing in others. In a post-COVID-19 world, we will have seen at that point in time a real cultural shift in terms of how consumers are shopping. A lot of companies now are going fully digital with their workforces, and we're going to start to see more globalized and distributed companies. Now, what does that mean? Well, what's so fascinating about that is it means that maybe a business ends up relocating to Texas because the taxes are better and they can still have a team that's all over the world. Companies are going to be migrating based on what's actually best for their P&L, what's actually going to help them with their operating costs. And ultimately, that's going to mean likely systems that are more distributed, a distributed workforce, and how we look at offices and what we wear to work is going to significantly change. We're also seeing a shift in home and family dynamics. The ability or the desire to be able to spend more time with children, to be able to nurture them, to teach them. Yes, I know many parents out there, it's been driving them crazy, but I also know it's been unprecedented in terms of the togetherness and the quality time that we've seen. So what does that mean? That means a return to home, and that means a return to home goods. It means a return to cooking. So as we start to think about in a very slow and steady way what a consumer might look like in a post-COVID-19 world, it's not too hard to actually turn inwards and ask ourselves, what are the ways in which we've adapted and changed to this pandemic? What are the ways in which we are future forecasting our lives? I always like to say when it comes to marketing, the moment something's too easy and I buy it too quickly, I know they did something right. Right? The moment Instagram launched their buy through their platform, I was like, oh my gosh, my shopping off the chain. Terrible for my pocketbook, amazing for technology. In that same respect, I'd say take a look at your own consumer purchasing habits. How are you reshifting and thinking about your lifestyle, about work, about your teams, maybe your family? All of those things will be really important. From what we've been seeing through our consumer conversations, there's been a real shift towards home. There's a real shift towards taking care of your nice kitchen items. You're cooking more. You're decorating more. You're also likely to be more entrepreneurial. You're trying things more, which means that tools and systems and things out there that are helping to ignite a sense of passion and purpose are also going to be very important. When it comes to product categories, I'd say consider those that are based on an athleisure lifestyle. Consider those that are based on hiking, outdoors, on connection. Think of your marketing strategies as one that are going to reflect consumer behavior's desire to be able to have human connection, to be able to feel whole and complete. I'd say if there's one thing that COVID-19 has done is called really for a worldwide existential crisis of what is important to us. And our shopping and our customer behavior and how we spend our resources are really going to shift in alignment with that. So thinking about other products you might be able to add into your product assortment, including things like journaling, self-care, things about bringing little bits of happiness to yourself, subscription services that are going to help you look forward to something new in your inbox, things that are going to help you connect digitally and send gifts to one another in a way that's meaningful. All of those things I think are going to be very important. Now, at the same time, there is one hand, which is this global pandemic, and there are a lot of the issues that are coming up with that in terms of the return to home, a lot of those things that I mentioned. And on the flip side of that, guys, we're seeing unprecedented levels of unemployment. So what does that mean? At the end of the day, it means that that dollar that someone spends is going to have so much more meaning and purpose than it ever had before. And as you're looking to build relationships and connections with your customers, they are going to have been scarred from this time period of unemployment, scarred of this time period of being lonely, and really looking for ways in order to regain parts of themselves and to create something new. So think about your marketing and your authenticity. Think about your brand values. A post-COVID-19 consumer has vetted the brands that they buy from. They know the CEOs because the CEOs are out there and vocal and sharing. They know what goes into the product. They understand what makes the brand important, and they're also price conscientious. Price conscientious doesn't mean I don't buy a luxury item. Price conscientious means I'm going to choose to buy this luxury item instead of buying some other items, right? It's being conscious of where you're spending your money. So whether you have a lot of money or a little bit of money to spend in these categories, you're going to be a lot more thoughtful about where it is that you're choosing to spend that. So that post-COVID-19, marketing mindset needs to be one of, hey, am I authentically shifting my business in a direction that makes sense to my consumer? And do I ultimately have the right product assortment? And can I be agile and take the risk and talk to my customer to make sure that I'm adapting to their needs as they get back into the way a new life will look like for them? All right, guys, that's all from me over at Scaling Retail. Please feel free to send me an email at hello@scalingretail.com. We are actively working with brands currently to be able to help re-strategize, as we know that as of today, we don't know when this is over. Our hopeful optimism around these coming to the other side, it's truly based on the fact that as humanity, we will make it, we will thrive. And guys, you're in an industry that is super resilient. The retail industry is one that will never go away. The question is, will you go away? And so being smart and strategic right now is going to really help you plan for this moment and plan for the future. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.